Good morning. It is not as early in the morning as it feels like here on Sunday in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome, Derby News Network, and all the rest of the fans watching live here at the Cox Business Center for the 2013 Day 3 USARS National Championships. I'm Late Night Lyle, and beside me here,
Zipper Spark, losing my voice.
That's right. Today we're going to change our names to Gruff and Rough because it was an exciting day yesterday. And as our vocal cords get warmed up, we'll get those better throughout. What we have today, starting off right now, is a Coed scrimmage. Now, one of our referees trying to communicate with us while we're talking. This Coed scrimmage originally was supposed to be a men's game, but North Texas, unfortunately, and I'm sure they feel bad about it, had to pull out. But this did open up this opportunity for this Coed scrimmage. And I'm glad we're broadcasting this. I'm glad we're streaming this because one thing about scrimmages like this where you're at a tournament and everybody who has either already been removed from the tournament or whatever the reason they decided to sign up, there's nothing on the line here.
Yeah, it's a great way to just blow off some steam. Yeah, so actually it started off with Tulsa. Tulsa has a co-ed team.
Right.
And it's a great way to get some of those athletes seeing the top ranked girls on Tulsa and being able to play with some top ranked guys. Like, you have Hot Rod Havoc there and you got Goliath over there. And it's a great way to get those girls to go, oh, okay, it's not so scary to play with guys. And actually, guys have to learn how to play differently since there's females involved. They can't be as aggressive.
Right.
And it would just really hurt them if they got that aggressive team-wise because guys are very capable of knocking them out. But, it's more about strategy, getting in the right space and controlling it that way. Well, it's a different. If you're going to see it's kind of a different way of playing. It's still the same rule set.
We're going to see which team, whether it be the Black Plague or the White Lightning, which team is able to work together as a team better first. And it should be a lot of fun. We hope you enjoy this Coed scrimmage. Really quickly. We are about to start the first jam, but we'll run through the rosters really quick. Black Plague has Killer KT, who has been a phenomenal pivot. Unfortunately, her team got ousted early in this tournament, but really, really, really great pivot. Pookie, Swift Demise, Ariel, a Twister, Ragin' Reg, Tiny Tornado, Krayla Ward, Roadkill Will, Brad Gooden, Slim Grim, Godzilla, Baal, Seymour Skin, and Mazel Tough Cocktail at the end of this jam. We'll go through the roster for the White Lightning. Oh, big hit there as it is.
Rollamite.
It is Rollamite.
Rollamite. Right behind him is Slim Grim in the black, number 66, with the black and green painting on his head.
Jam ends.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about right there. If you saw Goliath kind of did a little spread eagle to wall that black in and just let Rollamite right on through.
White Lightning feeling Nin Girl Rocks It, Boppin', Chica Boom, Tess to Rosa, Pompadorable, Decker, Skulls, Glad He Ate Her, Rollin' Reaper, Goliath, Sam Adams, Dr. Feelgood, and Bettin' Boppin'. And I guess along with that, possibly that guy, the one we just saw. I don't see his name on the roster.
It's who are we looking at? Oh, a tiny guy right there. Ooh, that was Ball. Just kind of did a little cannonball on top of the Black's jammer right there.
For those of you just tuning in, Rolling Reaper jammer for White Lightning has control. But probably be good just to turn the sound off for this one. As we wake up, it's been it's been a wonderful weekend. Anybody who's been in Derby, I can imagine, understands. 3 points for White Lightning, as right now they're at 7-0. And Goliath going up against Killer KT. Now, this will be interesting because I was in regular tournament play, Killer Katie, who plays for Merced Suburban Legends. I was critical as to why they weren't using her in jammer rotation because I thought she'd be a phenomenal jammer rather than a pivot where they needed help the most. And here we see her in this scrimmage playing as jammer. Goliath a hop as he quickly moves to the front of the pack. He's going to try to hold back Ragin' Reg, but makes it out and has control. Ragin' Reg activates as the pivot and in pursuit.
And boy, she's pretty fast if she can get caught up with him. He has no idea, I believe. Oh, there he goes, smart.
He called it off real quickly and picked up the 4 unanswered. Nice move there by Goliath. Quick thinking.
And that's Slim Grim on the line with the Black. And right next to him, I believe that is Rolomite.
Rolomite's normal number is 5. I'm not sure that is Rolomite.
Is it not? I thought it was.
I don't think Rolomite's playing. Unfortunately, our roster doesn't have numbers associated with our names, so as is always the case, scrimmages. We may not know everyone out there, but we'll do our best to identify them as the game goes on.
Well, it's nice to see that all these people came together in such short notice to be able to play and have fun. And that is Gladiator in the white.
And Ariel LaTwister in the black. I feel like we're golf announcers. Gladiator.
The silent clap.
A long par 5 to the lead active scorer position. Although it would be awesome if golf announcers would all of a sudden burst with excitement.
Right.
You know?
And it's a hole in one.
Oh, my God! Yeah. Rip the head of the mic off and set it on fire. Yeah, that's what golf needs. Gladiator in control, but the pack speeding up. Now we see maybe, it's Godzilla. It's I Am Godzilla. The pivot in pursuit. Godzilla is getting more skating time today than she did yesterday.
You're just kind of wondering on some of those earlier games if some of those teams kind of held back some of better players. Might have been a bad move. But, you know, it just goes to show you can't underestimate what you're going into. That might be Dr. Feelgood out there jamming.
Certainly, if you know, in the white, number 986. Dr. Feelgood has control, assuming that's who that is.
Somebody looks like they just about had their pants knocked off.
Yep. And we're down 18. The black, the jammer. Her shirt says Mistress Doom. We don't have a Mistress Doom down here, but that's what we'll call her, especially since that's what you can see on your screen. One unanswered point. Black team gets on the board. The Black Plague finally starting to crawl out there. Let's see if they can infect the rest of this board. Swift Demise and Goliath. We saw Swift Demise a lot over the past couple of days. But here we are with Goliath. Goliath is, I wonder if we'll see some of the same antics with Goliath as we did in normal tournament play.
We'll see. It's still early in the morning.
It is. Swift Demise has control, but Goliath finds his way out of the pack, and both jammers on their scoring run.
There you go.
Yep, there's that
He's waking up.
big smile on Goliath's face. He should wear a big pineapple slice on his back because he's a ham. Ariel LaTwister takes the line for Black. And Boppin. Boppin doesn't normally jam, so it's a treat for her here to be able to jam. Ariel has control. In pursuit, though, it's the pivot for White. As my voice starts to wake up. I am Godzilla. And someone who isn't, I am Godzilla.
I think people are starting to get the hang of keeping your pivots up front. Definitely at this point.
And both sides really working very well as far as teamwork goes. Communication. Killer KT pivot for Black. And she tries to, gets tripped up a little bit by Chica Boom there up front. The other pivot.
And this is my first time, this weekend's my first time actually seeing Chica Boom, and I'm pretty amazed by her, about her abilities, especially with her being a petite woman just like myself.
Right.
That she can go in there and not be afraid, because I've dealt with a lot of people who are about my height going, I can't go in there and block. Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Gotta,
absolutely.
Just got to learn where your bottom is.
Yeah. Goliath going to the penalty box. Chica Boom is very effective, despite her being a very petite lady. But I've said for a long time, some of the biggest hits I've ever seen in Derby were on some of the smallest, coming from some of the smallest girls.
Yeah, I find that if you can get down low and especially put some speed behind your rear, it makes a lot better hit.
Yeah.
And usually people don't expect it, so that's when they don't really brace it. They're just thinking that they're going to.
I'd be curious if any coach has or will, and after I say this, maybe they will, go to a mixed martial arts or any specific martial arts sensei or instructor to come in and teach their team about body weight and leverage and things that are used in martial arts a lot, as far as being able to flip an opponent or whatever, and see if that can be applied as a science to roller derby.
That would be interesting to see some karate kids out there.
Swift Demise gets a whip, and that's a grand slam. Biggest points picked up by the Black Plague so far.
And that's Goliath and Gladiator trying to hold up the forefront.
Dr. Feelgood and the jammer for the white team able to rejoin. One thing about waking up and then immediately coming in to announce is my voice is a lot lower than it normally is as it begins its normal wake-up cycle. Seymour Skin and Roland Reaper. Seymour Skin had a bit of a, not necessarily an injury. She hit her tailbone real hard in competition yesterday, but she stayed in the game.
That was definitely nothing new for her right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I think she hadn't experienced.
Chica boom. Lowering the boom on Seymour Skin and dropping the outside of the front straightaway, allowing Roland Reaper to have the advantage here and take control of the jam. 14-11 with White still being in the lead.
And that Slim Grim up front with Chica Boom trying to fight it out.
Look at that.
Go out of bounds. Like I said, she's got quite the core going on right there.
Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Chica Boom, though, going to the penalty box for that as she blocked out of bounds. Roland Reaper with a grand slam and extends the lead for White. Coming up on the second quarter here in about a minute. Been a fairly low-scoring game so far, but a fun one nonetheless. Mistress Doom and Goliath lining up.
So can you explain something for me? What's the deal with everybody in the pajama pants?
I'm not seeing people in pajama pants.
Oh, let the day go on. We'll catch her. They're very eye-catching.
Are they?
Yes.
My eyes are barely open now.
Just, wipe the crust out a little bit.
Hotel coffee, the kind you get in the room, is never, I don't know.
It's like they processed the coffee through a gym sock. Kind of took away the boldness of your morning roast.
And most of the caffeine along with it. So.
Yeah.
My Kingdom for a Starbucks. Killer KT calling off the jam. Picking up several points, but only allowing one. So we have a 20-15 score. 5-point difference with White team still in the lead.
And that's Slim Grim on the line in the black for the Team Plague. Right next to him, I think we may have established it's Dr. Feelgood.
I think so. We'll get confirmation at the half, but coming off of the Sure Grip jammer line, it's maybe a scrimmage, but still a sponsored line. Oh, Dr. Feelgood able to stay on his skates after a bit of a stumble, and he's going to immediately call off the jam after getting control, with Slim Grim being tight on the heels of his skates. Oh, we have confirmation now that is Dr. Feelgood from Dallas Deception.
She's trying to step on him, giving some.
Goliath waving down at I Am Godzilla, showing that.
She's trying trying to put the pressure on.
Right. That pressure put on him as he's spun outside. Neither jammer with the advantage just yet, but
and here we see the strategy again where the jammer tries to sit on top of the pivot to try to get their team pivot to sit on them.
Right.
That way the other pivot can't go out. But
unfortunately, it didn't work here. And Goliath going to have to. Oh, here we go. Rage and Reg. Calling Goliath chicken as he quickly calls off the jam. This is, I was talking off the air about, somebody asked me, you're calling this? Why? I'm like, are you kidding? This is going to be a blast. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, if you're watching this morning, hopefully you're having as much fun as we are, despite, hopefully you have more access to better coffee. Dr. Feelgood. Skating. We do have an incredible day lined up for you throughout the day as both our men's and women's championships will be played later on. Dr. Feelgood in control of the jam. Aerial Twister finds her way out. Both jammers on their scoring run.
And I love just seeing Dr. Feelgood go in there and you watch him. He'll get the inside line and he'll just dominate it, even on 1 foot.
Dr. Feelgood calling off the jam, limiting himself to only 2 points, but denying the other side any points.
And that swift demise on the jammer line brought to you by Sugar Rip.
And number 21.
That's what we'll call her.
Yes.
Number 21. In the white fanny.
That might be betting popping. It is. Betting bopping in control. In pursuit, swift demise. Both jammers activated. Seymour Skin. The pivot. Looking to try to slow or pull away, actually. But 0-0 jam as this one is pressured to be called off. Rollin' Reaper and Killer Katie.
And it looks like White Lightning is going to have a blocker in the box starting off this jam.
Chica-boom, holding back Rage and Reg, the pivots. Killer Katie coming up, trying to juke to the side, and fakes her out of her skates, and Killer Katie opens out into wide open track to take control of this jam. Chica-boom activates as the pivot in pursuit. We'll see Chica-boom here able to put on a lot of speed as she's normally a star jammer for Port City. Wide to the outside. Chica-boom. Chica-boom steals control and picks up 4 points. Killer KT missed that she was being crept up on by White's pivot, and now she's going to get lapped.
Or they try to get her out right there. So I'm talking about having a strong core. It takes a lot of working out the right muscles to be able to just hold on to that line without falling over.
Right.
Especially if you're on that line on 1 foot and then someone hits you, not double over and just fall over. And I've seen a lot of that from Chica-boom where she's able to just keep her own.
Grand slam there at the end by Chica-boom as she adds another 9 to the side of the White Lightning. 3 picked up by the Black Plague. Aerial Twister, Dr. Feelgood. Dr. Feelgood moving in tightly on the inside. Bashing against Ariel Twister and gets spun out of his own skates. Ariel Twister is the lead active scorer. Goliath going to the penalty box. He thought that he was going to activate as the pivot and be in pursuit, but instead unable to. Dr. Feelgood activates himself as the jammer. So both jammers on the scoring run, but it's Ariel Twister already through the pack, adding another 4 to the score to Black and calling off the jam. 9-point game, Zipper.
That's right. We got White Lightning right now at 31, Black Plague 22 on the jamming line, brought to you by Sheer Group. We have Rolling Reaper. Next to him in the black is Slim Grim. Both guys playing for our Tulsa Militia.
Slim Grim, unopposed, approaching the pack. Grim wide to the outside, able to recycle back in.
By the help of Killer KG right there, holding back Gladiator.
Pompadorable pushes Grim too far out, and he's able to come back into the pack. Let's see if he gets the full 5 points. 4, an improper pass prevented one of them.
It's Goliath right on Rolling Ripper. He's saying, hey, I got this. And apparently he does.
Did you say Roller Derpy?
No, Rolling Reaper.
Okay. Roller Derpy would be a great...
Roller Derp.
Yeah, well, Roller Derp is a website, but...
All right. That gives the Black Plague 1 more point up. They're 27 on the scoreboard. Right up there as well is White Lightning with 31. Still a minor gap, but it could go a lot further than that, the way these ladies and gentlemen are playing.
Well, I think we're going to see a very different game in the second half. So they're able to, even though they're having fun, they're still competitors.
Right.
Oh, wow. Nasty hit put on by Avanya Skulls.
And that's Dr. Feelgood in the lead right there.
I think that's Avanya Skulls. She's we don't have her listed here, but it looks like her. Regardless, Dr. Feelgood has control. But what I was saying is at halftime, they'll be able to see, okay, this is what we're doing well, this is what we're not doing well, and they'll be able to talk about those things and kind of bring their team even closer together with a more cohesive strategy now that they know the strengths and weaknesses of their players. We could see a very different team.
That's right. They're just kind of getting associated in the first half. By the second half, they really should know by then what lineup needs to go out, who needs to really focus on jamming and pivoting.
Right. I am Godzilla. Pivot for the Black Plague. Godzilla gliding through. As bopping and Chikaboom doesn't offer any resistance. And so Black Plague, for the first time, has taken the lead, and the jam will end.
The Black Plague takes the lead.
4-3. We'll see if that holds. It's a tie game. Oh, wait, maybe not.
Never mind, Black team leads. So exciting in between the jams.
Not sure that score is correct. It was the white jam ref that was holding up the extra points, and points were given to the black team. So maybe that's correct, but the scoreboard shows 35 to 36. As several points on both sides have been added. Ariel, a twister, has control of this jam. Dr. Feelgood coming out of the penalty box. Jammer for White Lightning. And Testarossa coming out, going to the penalty box. A track cut, looks like. Ariel, a twister, adding one grand slam to her side. Let's see if she can add another. Dr. Feelgood racing out to the front. And so Ariel will only get about 4. Calls off the jam and does add another 4. So 9 points total there. 45 to 35, and the Black Plague have the largest lead that they've had as we come up on the 2-minute mark of the first half.
We got Goliath on that jammer line yet again, brought to you by Sure Grip.
Goliath with a quick start. Goliath, nice move on the inside, gets past Raging Reg, but he's going to try to hold her back and wait for Boppin to come up and put some pressure on her. Oh, but he gets recycled back a little bit himself. Swift Demise now up front. She's going to try to get Goliath trapped, and she's doing a pretty good job so far, but then gets recycled back herself. Goliath now in position as he's going to try to recycle Raging Reg. Nope, he's just going to decide to go with it. Pivot in pursuit.
And that's her just kind of waiting to see what they call her for. Trying to catch up with them, seeing how chicken she can make him.
Indeed. Oh, he's not going to be able to call off jam. Control's going to shift.
Yep.
It does. Raging Reg now in control of the jam. Goliath got pushed to the inside. Under USARS rules, you can only call off the jam if you're upright and inbounds.
And that's Roland Reaper on the jammer line right next to Mistress Doom, brought to you by Sure Grip. And she tries to go in for a little hip check, but he kind of deflects and she falls down, which can kind of cost her a little bit of time right there.
Roland Reaper. Roland Reaper looking to the outside. Can't find a path there. Skating on the inside, but he was looking to the outside. Skulls going to the penalty box now. So it was Avanya Skulls. I thought so. The period clock is over, so this will be the last jam, and only now do we have an active scorer as Roland Reaper has taken control of the jam. The jam will end and we'll go to halftime with a score of 39 to 49. The Black Plague leads over the White Lightning. we'll try to come back a little more awake and with a little less of a golf announcing style.
That's right.
I'm kind of tickling myself. Well, not literally tickling myself. Right. But I'm just to be able to do what we're doing right now with as little sleep as we've had.
Hopefully it makes it a more interesting for the viewer with the delusion and the half audible voice.
Right. People on Facebook right now, look, Late Night looks drunk. No.
No, I'm just
Completely
drunk.
sober.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to take a halftime and get some breakfast and some caffeine in our system, and hopefully you'll come back to join us for the second half of this scrimmage. If you want to know what else is going on today, well, I'll tell you that as well. We have, of course, the 2 championship games, but up next at 11:45 we have the third place game for the women's. That will be an antagonist roller derby out of Seattle, Washington, up against the Chicago Red Hots.
Red Hots.
Yes. They faced in the second game of this tournament where antagonist beat Chicago 139-9, but antagonist has lost a little something in their game throughout this tournament where Chicago has gained quite a bit. And we'll see if that matchup is closer for third place. After that, a junior exhibition Tulsa Brats game at 1:30. Then we have the men's championship everybody's been waiting for.
Oh, can't wait.
Yes. Ole Warriors versus your mom. We saw them battle once, but it went to a forfeit because your mom had so many foul outs due to penalties, obviously, that they had to forfeit the game. They couldn't field enough skaters. Let's see if your mom is able to shore up some of that penalty trouble, play a little cleaner.
Yeah, your mom needs to clean up your act.
Yes, she does. Or if Ole is able to maintain course. They were winning, Ole was. Let's see if they can do the same. And then, of course, the women's championship, which will be had between the Ole Rollers and Port Tortured. So all of that, the Seltzer Cup, the grand finale, and probably something, if it was like last year, that will absolutely blow your mind. I'm expecting it.
Undoubtedly.
Yes. I'm not going to comment on what it is, but you want to stick around. Let everybody know USARS 2013 National Championships continues live from Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Cox Business Center here on Derby News Network. I don't think anybody saw that. Goliath prancing and now prancing away. Okay. I told you, giant pineapple on his back because he's a ham. The rest of the day of my announcing will be brought to you by an unnamed energy drink. Because they're not an official sponsor and I can't name who they are, but hopefully they do. That guy, Slim Grim, to the penalty box. The jammer for the Black Plague is Chica Boom, jamming for White Lightning. Has control. Pivot, able to stay on his skates with a circus move and not realizing he should be jetting. Well, no, it's Raging Reds that should be jetting forward, and she does activate for the black team.
And she does a really good job being the pivot. She's definitely in the right position for herself.
Somebody stole all of our bananas.
Really?
Yes. And all of our water.
Those pesky derby girls
I know.
every time. Ariel La Twister trying to hide behind Goliath.
That's an easy job because Goliath is Very large man.
Yeah. He chose the right name for himself. It's Ariel Twister, who's the lead active scorer right now with Goliath on her trail. She's kind of playing with him right there. Oh, she can't.
Oh,
waited too long.
No, she didn't. What happened
didn't?
was she was hidden from view
By his gigantic body.
by Goliath. She was inside of Goliath, but as she was calling off the jam, but the jam ref was out of position and couldn't see her call it off. So then he passed, took control, and that was a bit of a mistake on the jam ref's position, or the jam ref by not being in proper position. Those mistakes happen. It's a little unfortunate here. Either way, 45-51. Black Plague lead by 6.
And we have Chica Boom versus Swift Demise, both from Port City, but they are against each other right now. And there she goes right there. Oh. She's got to go back. Killer Teague and just knocked her out onto the inside. Dr. Philgood trying to help her out right there.
Chica Boom in control.
And she's trying to communicate right there, trying to get Dr. Philgood to hold back their pivot so she has a little bit of a leeway before that pivot pops out, or if and when. All right. There was a bridge. There's not much of a bridge now. So they kind of just have to wait till the pack meets them again.
I still don't see these pajamaed people you'd talked about.
I think they're some of the officials here. See right across over there, he's got the Grover pants on.
Okay. Yeah, John Paljohn over there.
With AJ. That's right. It's Bettin Boppin on the line, playing for the White Lightning. Right next to her is Ariel Twister for the Black Plague.
Okay. Interesting camera shot there, I'm sure. It's Ariel LaTwister. Kind of highlighting her name.
It looks like Goliath's trying to get Reg's phone number right up there, hanging on to her.
Ariel out. She is in control, but Goliath quickly pursues. Maybe not quick enough. I think Ariel has speed on him. A track cut by Avanya Skulls. She'll be sent to the penalty box as a blocker for White Lightning. 3-2. Black Plague with the advantage.
All right, now we got Killer T playing for the Black Plague on the jammer line, brought to you by Sheer Grip. Right next to her is Pompadorable.
Killer Katie and Pompadorable. We haven't seen Pomp jam, I don't think at all this weekend in competition or here in the scrimmage. Your pivots are I Am Godzilla for black and Dr. Feelgood for white. Killer Katie is in control and quickly pursued by Dr. Feelgood.
Ooh, she tried to jump the line. She falls, and right behind her comes Dr. Feelgood doing exactly the same thing, which is kind of dangerous. Little falling down pack right there, little dog pile. So he's got to go to the penalty box for that one.
Yep, got
you
a
couldn't
back
quite
block.
see. You saw the back block?
It was a back block.
Okay.
Coming up, that's what he went to the penalty box for. He did steal control, but control, of course, goes immediately back. And that's going to put the Black Plague in a power jam as Killer Katie has a grand slam.
And there's one thing that I've learned as a jammer, that if you are in trying to get past a wall and you're having difficulty, really all you have to do is just keep pushing yourself, keep moving your feet. Eventually, they're going to keep skating forward unless they try to drop back and hold you down. But I've seen a little bit of that this weekend.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a lot more of it, but, you know. And Goliath's going to be blocking this time. We got Ariel Twister on the line for the Black Plague. And right next to her in the white is Bitten Boppin.
Looks like Swift Demise is the pivot for the Black Plague. Pivot for White Lightning sitting in the penalty box. And that Dr. Feelgood.
And for these women and these men to be out here says a lot about who they are as skaters. Not really afraid if there's a big guy, a little guy, a big girl, or, a smaller woman. There goes Dr. Feelgood getting out. Ariel Twister coming through the pack. And she calls it off before she has to deal with Goliath up front. All right, getting some points up on the board. White Lightning is 49 right now. Black Plague a little bit ahead. It's 63 points on the jammer line, brought to you by Sure Grip. We have Slim Grim on the line in the black and green panty, and right next to him is
Ivania Skulls.
Ivania Skulls.
Ivania looks to the outside. Slim Grim finds an easier path on the outside as Ivania gets recycled to the back. And Slim Grim is the lead active scorer. Roland Reaper activates as the pivot for White Lightning, and he takes off.
And that's Killer Katie up front trying to hold down, getting a little love tap from Ivana Skulls.
Now, you're Tulsa's announcer, right?
That's correct.
Have you ever announced the Tulsa Brats?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Usually at that time when I was doing it, we had another announcer. His announcing handle is, I think it was Sweet Dirty Sanchez.
okay.
I believe. Old Dirty Sanchez, that's right.
All right.
He's very, the reference is for a Wu-Tang Clan member.
I worked with a Derby Sanchez once. Chica Boom pivot for White Lightning to the penalty box. So not the very next game, but at 1:30 will be the junior exhibition. Any forecast on what we should expect to see there?
Well, with the juniors, I can't really forecast a whole lot because things change really fast with them because they're growing, not just as kids, but as individuals. So when they came in, it's more like, haha, this is fun. I'm having fun. And at some point, they start getting in tune with it and going, okay, I'm getting competitive. This is for real. I want to win. And it's unfortunate that there's not enough junior leagues around, at least these parts, for them to really get some more experience. They have done a few games with other teams, and they've done quite well.
Yeah.
And that's Crimley Insane, who is the coach for the Brats.
Ariel Twister takes control of this jam for the Black Plague.
As Dr. Feelgood getting out of the pack, he does not lead.
With every sip of my unidentified energy drink, I can feel my announcer powers returning to me. It's unidentified, but if it was a movie, the sequel would be Energy Drink University.
There you go. Let's see Chicago getting warmed up back there. Jumping
there
some
we go.
rope. Some serious rope.
I am Godzilla and Goliath. So it's Godzilla and Goliath. For the first time, Goliath bigger than Godzilla.
And it was out of play, so he gets the free pass right there. That's Goliath as your lead active scorer for White Lightning.
Raging Reg with the whip for I Am Godzilla, and she activates in pursuit. Raging Reg.
Yeah, it looks like they're picking it up, trying to pull a strategy. Goliath calling it off. Let's see, some chicken wings. There we go, some chicken wings. And he's just smiling, taking it in stride.
Mistress Doom and Chica Boom. Boom and Doom on the line. Doom with a faster start off than Boom. Chica caught back. Doom looking to the outside, but Chica with an advantage now. Chica looks wide outside. Will she take it? She does.
And that's Killer KG taking off right there in the blue. Green and black panty, pivot panty.
Killer Katie, who was Merced's Suburban Legends top pivot. Puts the pressure on, but not enough pressure as Chica Boom able to squeeze out 3 unanswered points. And White Lightning edges up on the score. This has been a much tighter contest than what I thought it might be.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, we obviously didn't have anything to go on. We know what we were going to see, but so many scrimmages can end up in a one-sided affair just because sometimes one team will click better or quicker than the other. But
yeah,
I think been very balanced.
Yeah, I think since this is the third day, a lot of people are familiar with seeing what their skate style is, what their weaknesses and strengths are.
That's a good point.
They're able to really utilize those skills to their advantage. And it looks like a pretty even team. We got just about the same amount of guys on each side. Predominantly most females.
Oh, wow. We had control change a couple of times, but Goliath unable to hold his speed there as he got his skates almost tangled up with Ariel. Falls back a little bit, but Ariel once again in control.
And I'm a bit surprised to see him get a little bit winded right there. It's Ariel Ledweister running it. Giving him a run for his money. It's nice to see that.
One thing that is interesting to me about Goliath is his wheels, those bright green wheels. He was having some problems, and I don't know if he switched them out later on, but he was having a lot of problems in the first game with some sliding issues, and made a couple of adjustments, and that doesn't seem to be the problem. But if he went to a stickier wheel, that might be why he's getting a little more winded.
Yeah, definitely.
He's having to push harder.
Yeah, and it looks like he's got some of the bone turbos on. I believe that's what that is.
Chica Boom is the lead active scorer, and she's going to push. Oh,
just as we were talking about wheels, there you go. Looks like Slim Grim needs to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a little bit of more of a figure skater right now with the wheels he's got on.
One thing that might be a concern, the two birds. I'll get to the birds in a moment. The one thing that might be a concern is the locker rooms are behind, and there may be some dust that's being brought onto the track, creating a slick surface where the sport court normally would not be this slick.
Yeah, I believe every morning they've been mopping it with vinegar to try to
Really?
to try to take care of it. And there's a few tricks if you've been in derby for a while. You know how to make a floor sticky.
Oh, sure.
Definitely not this floor. You don't want to do the whole Coca-Cola trick.
Something that is adorable is there are a pair of very small birds. I'm not a bird aficionado, so I don't know what kind of they are, but they've been flying around this entire weekend as a pair, constantly around the two benches. It's to the point that at one point they even flew into one of the jammers. But they've just been together, flying around, watching derby.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a phenomenon going on here in downtown Tulsa. In the last couple months, we've had a slurry of birds just hanging out in the trees at night, being loud. Right. And when you walk by, you can see their eyes glow. So a lot of people are calling them Martians. Oh, no, someone lost their whole truck right there.
Wow. Who was it? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Over here.
That was that's a roadkill. Roadkill Will.
That's you picked a fine time to leave me loose, Will.
And that's why it's also very important to check out your hardware on your skates before each game you play. Looks like he might need to take a trip to the old Crazy Skates booth.
We have an official timeout. I've seen wheels come off. I think that might be the first time I've ever seen a truck come off in competition. Maybe not.
And
it's been a long time if I have seen it before.
That's nice. Getting a good back scratching on the jammer line from another jammer.
Yeah.
Of course, I believe they're teammates from Port City. That's Bettin' Boppin'.
Bettin' Boppin', yeah.
With Ariel La Twister.
A lot of Port City is playing on both of these teams.
Well, I knew a lot of Tulsa girls were going to, but I can only assume they might have stepped down to give somebody else the chance to play pretty much with what they practice every day.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, because it's nothing new to play with Goliath and, Slim Graham and some of the other guys. That would just be a normal practice for them.
Ariel La Twister has control. White Lightning, who led this for much of the first half, has given up that lead late in the first half and has not been able to regain it at all, as we're now down firmly into the fourth quarter with just 11 minutes left in play.
And I think that's a testament of the hare and the rabbit. This is what they should have been called, is the team that the Goliath is on. They're speeding up there like the rabbit, and Black Plague was taking it real slow and easy, and it's obviously doing good for them. They're 73 right now, and White Lightning's 56.
The tortoise and the hare?
Yes, the tortoise and the hare. There you go.
Tortoise and the hare and the rabbit?
Yeah, that's right.
So two rabbits.
And we have Goliath jam skating over here, living up to his title of being a ham. I think afterwards we need to go get a whole bunch of pineapples and just...
And an apple. Put an apple in his mouth.
Yes, and just bum rush him and just stick it all over. Maybe get a whole bunch of derby girls to do it too, so there's no way he can get out of it.
I'll leave you in charge of that.
Thank you.
Dr. Feelgood jamming for White Lightning.
It's Raging Reg up there doing a phenomenal pivot job with Chica Boom, her opponent, and the other pivot panty.
Swift Demise, the jammer for Black Plague. There's my voice. I found it. Quick hop to the inside for Dr. Feelgood.
It looks like Raging Reg is just going to let him go. She wants to get that chase on.
Right.
Oh.
Oh, wow. He almost lost. That was He looks winded. Goliath hazing his teammate.
Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay.
Goliath is pulling back the Slim Grim.
What a great way to start out a morning of a derby.
Oh, I know. Things can get very serious in a tournament, and it's nice to have a light-hearted moment. Not that Derby doesn't have fun even in serious competition. It absolutely does, but
when it gets to this point with entering into a tournament like this, everybody has psyched themselves up to everybody wants to come here and win, so they've worked really hard, spent months and months trying to get up to speed, maybe a little bit further than their other team, and then you come here and you imagined what it would be, and you put all this work into it, and a lot of these teams kind of just, I don't know what happened the first day. But it's good to see teams like Chicago come back from it.
yeah.
If there's one team I definitely would love to see win, it'd be Chicago. All right, that's Ivana Scholes in the white jammer panty, and right next to her is Ariel Twister in the green and black panty.
56-77 as the Black Plague has still held a strong lead, 21-point lead here.
And those jammers are just right on top of each other. Most of this game, that's what we've been seeing is jammers on jammers. And,
it really has been.
And they're not really trying to shut it down so quick. They're just trying to see how they can play with the rules, how they can manipulate their bodies into pulling some crazy stunts off. Just like that.
Oh, Ariel waited too late, and control shifted. So Ivania able to squeak out a point, make it a 20-point game, and quickly call off the jam herself. We have a lot of fantastic sponsors of the day's events, which we'll tell you more about as the day goes on. But quick moment as this tournament is brought to you by Derby Skins, Rydell, Fast Girl Skates, Roller Bones, Crazy Skate Company, and Sure Grip is our Jam Line sponsor. Thank you to all of our sponsors and all of the hard work that everyone has put in to making this run as smoothly and fantastically as it has been.
That's right. And just like earlier, we saw some of the hardware come off of somebody's skate. It's really important to make sure that you have all the right equipment.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to your plate. If you're really into skating fast, it's preferably not good to have a polyurethane plate, which is also known as plastic. That plastic doesn't transfer the heat as well, so it kind of actually slows you down. But once you get used to a metal, some sort of metal plate,
right,
that can contain that heat, you have a little bit more weight behind you. It's good to upgrade eventually to that.
The lack of flexibility also translates to more power. A lot more of your energy propels you down the track rather than being lost in the flex of that polyurethane.
Yeah.
So there's lots of phenomenal plates out there. Grand Slam.
Riding that outside line, and he's able to call it off.
Not sure he could have. It was difficult to see from my perspective whether or not he was in bounds during that time. So 8 total points for Slim Grim there as they extend their lead even further. One of the things that we have here, of course, at almost any tournament, you have a vendor row, and Rydell is here showing off some of their new things. The new plate that they have that comes out soon, you can check out at Rydell.com. It's I think it's called an aerial plate. It No, Arius by Powerdyne.
Yeah, that's right.
The Arius plate, I was able to check it out while I was here, and it looks incredible. It's got a bit of a different design, a kind of a sandwich design for the cushions with the plate. Very lightweight, it's 45-degree angle plate. Really, really impressed, and I want to be able to slap a pair on and skate on them and find out.
I have yet to try on a plate that has a 45-degree angle. I'd like to. That's more of a speed skater.
Well, it gives
design.
you tremendous maneuverability.
Yeah. Where you can juke and jive and
Right.
have more ability to get your footwork in
I
instead
don't-
of just standing there.
Yeah, I
Light
don't know
burn.
that it's good for straight line speed as much, but there's people that can answer that question better than I. I don't know that it sacrifices that much speed either. I think it's just not good for people who maybe don't need to do a lot of fancy footwork.
Yeah, but really what it comes down to is what your abilities are. When I was testing out some of the slimmer wheels in the beginning of my derby experience, there were bigger blockers, and they said, "Well, I couldn't use that. It's not going to hold me there." And I said, "Okay, let's try these on." And they tried
Right.
them on. And they're like, "Wow, I can jump across the track fast and just knock this chick out. I want a pair of these."
Yeah.
They don't make them anymore though. But they were brought to you by Adam Wheels.
Okay. Adam Wheels has a sign up here at the event.
And they're selling all kinds of things. They're not just selling wheels. I believe they have some of the assembly that goes onto the hardware of your skates.
Okay.
All right. White Lightning is looking at 57. I haven't really seen their score move much. And then we have Black Plague at 88 right now. We're just at 2 minutes and 32 seconds on the board.
If you missed it yesterday, Blood and Thunder Magazine is here. They sponsor the World Cup, and a very special partnership and offer has come up. We'll tell you about that a little later. You want to stick around. If you missed that yesterday, we'll tell you about it. Special just for the viewers of this USARS National Championships broadcast regarding the 2014 World Cup. So stay tuned for that special announcement a little later.
Yeah, I was over there at the Blood and Thunder booth talking to Billy. I've had a few conversations with him in the past, and he was like, "Yeah, my wife, Seraphim, she's starting a USARS team in Texas. I think it's Fort Worth."
Right.
That's what he said. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Hopefully, we'll see more of you, be able to practice in this region right here, have more USAR games." So that's pretty exciting. And sorry for the lack of enthusiasm with my voice, ladies and gentlemen. Trying
all
to
right.
keep it from cracking.
We're all-
Crack-a-lackin'.
We're all waking up and reserving a little in the tank for the games later on today.
Yep.
Just enjoying this wonderful scrimmage, this Coed scrimmage that has opened up due to North Texas being unable to compete in this tournament. We have a minute left on the period clock with the Black Plague firmly in the lead.
Oh, look at that team love right there.
We're going to have time for one more jam.
And it seems like I haven't seen much of Goliath. That's because he's been in the penalty box quite a bit. So, White Lightning's going to start out with their jammer in the box, I believe. Yes, she's going to be in the box. And their pivot, Goliath, is going to be sitting in the box right next to her. So right now, Team Plague has a little bit of advantage with having all their members out there.
Oddly enough, it's been a very clean game. Not a lot of penalties on either side.
Yeah, and that's what's great about this, being able to just blow this team off by just having a good time and seeing if you can pull some different stunts off, pull some different strategies, just, play around.
Period clock is over. Black Plague has control of the final jam, so this will seal their win here against White Lightning. Goliath activates as the pivot in pursuit.
Slim Grim calling it off. Yeah, I don't think he got a point for that. All right, it looks like this could be the end right here.